Hello, how are you? Sorry, it's a bit dark. Yes, how is everyone? It's a bit cold, so I've got this big cup of soup. Nice. Now, a few days ago, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, a lady, and she mentioned that I think it was raining where she was, and she's like, it's so muddy that she would hate to imagine to be milking a cow in the village in the rain. And I said, well, what are you thinking of? And she was like, all that mud and the cow hitting her with the tail with all that mud and and cow dung and all that. And I was like, you see, now you are thinking like a city girl. You grew up in the city most probably. So what you're reflecting on is something you saw only very briefly. And I remembered my own childhood. I grew up in Kwakakudu village. With no other experience anywhere else. I mean, I did not expect. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't have it, or rather, I didn't have any other alternative view of life. Talking about cow dung, it was like when it's raining and my mother wants to milk a cow, and it is refusing to come out. I would be sent into the the cow. It's an enclosure, not a shed. It's an enclosure. The enclosure to go and push that cow out. No gumboots, no shoes. Those things were known those days. I'll just go push it out and then go and push the calf out and they get milked. So it was, I mean, and so it occurred to me even when we used to play, like now when it's raining, there's a cousin of mine called Peter. Peter is still a super friend up to today. He's 1 year older than me. His father was my father's younger brother. I think there's someone in the middle. So he was the third born in a family of several people. My father was third born. So anyway, so I would say that when it's raining, we'd run all over the mud. We'd slide down. There's a hill where I come from in our village. There's a hill, and we'd climb that hill and slide down in the mud. Basically just having fun. So I kept on wondering, the children of nowadays, they have got their, I don't even know what toys are called. My own children grew up with, what are those things called? Those gaming things, hata nimesahau. But for me, you know, uh, playing with nature, making bows and arrows, with, first of all, when we were small, we will do with, it's a bow. The bow is a very, very tiny kind of piece or whatever. Then the arrow is actually grass. It's a there's grass, there's a blade, and then there's a stem. So you take that stem and you take a thorn and put it as the tip, and then we'd go hunting grasshoppers, and we would roast them, and actually they are very they are very 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 tasty. I don't know how nutritious they are. And of course, there are some specific types that you eat, and the others you couldn't eat. We knew them. I think the ones which would feed on they were basically, what was the color? I think the color was brownish, but there are green ones which are not edible. So that's simple life. Then we grew up a bit and we started hunting birds. Now with the proper bow, or sometimes with a catapult, and then we moved on and started hunting dick-dicks with the small game, dick-dick hares. They're all over the place, and that was so nostalgic. And I don't know whether I have any advantage over the guys who grew up in the city. Who had bikes to ride and all that. I didn't ride a bike until I was 10 years old. I was always number one, so my brother bought me a bicycle, and I was able to ride that bicycle, but I could not go with it to school because then it would have shown the difference with others. It was like, you are not allowed to, you are not allowed to be different from others. You couldn't go with the shoes. You had to be barefoot. You had to walk to school. And then as I grew older, now we had cows, and where we used to have these cows was cooperative. The land had been given to a cooperative called Ngu Ranching Cooperative. So if you took your cows there, they got arrested, they got impounded. So now we had to go and graze them at night. So it was one of those things. After supper at 8, we open for the cows. We go to the to the place, to the savannah. It's a very nice savannah. Those who have gone through Emali, just after Emali, you see a very nice savannah on your left if you're heading towards Mombasa. That's where we used to graze the cows. It's still Ngul Ranch. Okay, it was taken from Ngul Ranch and given to Kai. A lot of politics about land everywhere. But so I don't know whether it's not in my place to pity people who didn't grow like I did, because I'm sure they pity me for not having. I wish I could remember this. What are these things called that kids play with? PS2, PlayStation. Yes, that's the thing. Wow. So these guys with their PlayStation and whatnot, they grew up in a different way. They were socialized differently. Me and my arrows and herding cattle at night. In fact, I herded cattle at night up to, I think, Form 2. That's 1974. Oh, and I captured this in my book, in my autobiography, when somebody was killed by Maasai raiders and they took away the cows. So my mother told me, you're not going to go to graze again at night. Yeah, so that, Yeah, so anyway, so I was just mentioning that I think all of us are capable of doing anything. It is only that how you grow up, how you get socialized, the kind of things, the milieu that you live in, the kind of things you see being done by your people, by either your elders or the people you are with, determines the kind of person you become. So this friend of mine, I told her, I'm sorry. Anyway, you won't get there, because it means that since you didn't grow up there, it means you don't have a home there. You don't have any cows. So you will not have a problem. So this is just an imagination. Just like I can't imagine now going to herd cows. I mean, that's it. That's done, over and done with. But we are what we experience. That is one thing I can say without fear of contradiction. And I thought I would share that this evening. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening and don't do anything I wouldn't do, although you didn't know what I wouldn't do. So knock yourself out.